I use what works. Yeah, I like working. Oh, yes. I'm all right. How we doing today, guys? Good. Push away. I was holiday. Oh, thanks a calorie. Wow, right? Yeah. Good.
Okay, we're muted there. Full screen.
Oh, this is not nice.
So we should be all set. We're ready to manually adjust the camera, Gerald.
Like kind of in the middle.
Sound like it's
Do
woke
I,
up.
do I have to turn it on?
It's already, I think it's already going.
Okay.
Sound like it's woke up.
Well, close out of the chat. How do we minimize this? Okay.
What are the three dots? What are that?
What is this guy?
That's where you should have started. That's the first thing you did.
And then just say, remind me later. Is it start live stream? Start virtual camera.
Well, how did I get that far without?
I don't know.
Because I was doing.
Mm-hmm. So we started the virtual camera. Okay. I think we're good now.
You wanna look on YouTube to see if it's there.
How do I get rid of this stuff?
Just minimize. It's all the way up to the top right corner.
Oh. Yeah, we're live.
Sure. Where there's a little bit of a glow.
So far.
Tabs today. I had to pull some extras out of the back just to make a tab 16.
Just put here for a minute out for you.
Okay.
Wait, what number is direct deposit?
And number 6 of the new business.
That's it. That goes on number 6.
Okay. It's new though. Gerald's.
You still doing these? Talk to us afterwards.
No, that's why they're here.
Well, yeah, but I was just making sure. She'd ask one time.
Make her too.
That's what it was. No. Yeah, I haven't heard back from her since. Hmm. He's just a hobby accident. Be a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Look at the husband's club.
They're like great in a row.
Nobody's getting up. You did the real fast job.
Cool. Starting right behind Emery.
Oh,
You don't see?
there it is. Missed him.
He looks different with no hair.
So distinguished.
Yes.
Is this?
No worth, just gave it to us.
Okay. Do we know why? Hmm. You're not late.
Are you ready, Jackie? With our YouTube?
Yep, it's up.
Okay. Call this meeting to order. Jackie, you roll call, please.
Cameron, absent. Cook,
Here.
Garzell,
Here.
Heineth,
Here,
Loomis.
Here. Everybody's here. One more. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
States of America,
States
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, approval of the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
I got a request here from the Tuscola County Road Commission for brush spraying. I just got it this morning. Jackie gave it to me, so I'd like to maybe put that on the agenda and have some discussion. Probably number 9, I guess, or 10.
About 18. Your
New business,
So road commission spray, you said?
side spraying.
I'm in my motion to include addition of roadside spraying, item number 10.
Support.
Action item number 17 also.
Okay.
I still supported it.
Okay, you've heard the motion, been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passed. Okay, the minutes of the last, I don't know how many meetings, 6 meetings. I've got a correction on the April 10th meeting. The minutes read, when I made a statement on the record under protest. What that means is used to comply with the demand, often avoid worse consequences while preserving she's got equal right, it should be legal right. And I also requested at that same meeting, I would like a copy. Let me read it here. I'd like a copy from the township clerk upon receiving a written request for the meeting signed by the majority of the township board members. That was April 10th. I still want that. Any other corrections?
I'll make the motion that we approve the March 16th, 26th, 30th, April 7th, April 10th, with the correction from equal to legal, and April 16th.
Support.
And also the 16th closed session.
Yeah, there's,
Of course, I guess that would be both of them, wouldn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
April 6 meeting.
I don't know why it's twice, but. Okay,
Support.
you've heard the motion, been supported. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
I have to say, I vote yes on all of them except April 16th. I wasn't there, so I abstained from voting on that one.
Okay. The closed session, you're done, well,
Correct.
okay.
Well, April 16th altogether, I wasn't there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think there was, I don't know why it's labeled twice, but. So, did we vote, Jackie? I think we did.
Yep.
Okay. Treasurer's report.
Pay the bill.
Support.
There's been a motion to pay the bill, been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, Jackie, need a roll call, please?
Kenneth,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Barzell,
Yes.
Loomis,
Yes. Motion passed. Public comment.
I gave you all a handout. You have that phase right there. Concerning the prohibited structures. On May 13th of 2024, zoning administrator Denzer had a request from Don Payer to place a Connex container on his property. He was denied, and then it was motioned by Zabit, supported by Mashman, to consider an amendment. I don't know how much that was talked about by the zoning administrator getting that, because if you flip the page on the next page on August 1st, Melody Paya wrote a formal complaint form from the Millington Township zoning ordinance complaint form for 8600 Irish Road, because they have a semi-trailer and a truck body on their property, and that was filed on April 1st of 2024, and that just happens to be Tammy's mom and dad. Flip the page, you'll see it's complaint number 2024-06, and you'll see a moratorium placed on cargo containers, but then you flip over to the next page at November 18th of 2024, that there was a moratorium on storage containers, in parentheses, Connex. Nothing about semi-trailers or truck bodies, only Connex. Tammy is making complaints about the planning commission with malfeasance, misfeasance, nonfeasance. Why did she not act after 3.5 months against her parents when there was a formal request written per township rules? Why did she not act on that? That's malfeasance and nonfeasance. Here's the pictures. I didn't print those out for you because I didn't want to waste my ink on that. So why is the planning commission being charged for such when she's not held to the same standard? Equal, folks. It's got to be equal enforcement. What? Payas couldn't have it, but her parents can. Why? There needs to be a reasoning on that. And because that is malfeasance and nonfeasance. So if the planning commission is guilty, so is she. She should be investigated for the same thing. Because I believe that when Luann was on the planning commission, whenever I was here for discussion on the non-prohibited structures, Luann was in great support of allowing them. When just a little while earlier against Mr. Gilling, she raised all kinds of chaos about him having them and made a storage building out of them. Folks, there's collusion here, and it can't be looked at. I know you're smiling, Sharon, that's fine, because I hope if you see the collusion. Equal enforcement. Okay. And yeah, 3 minutes. There we go.
Thanks, Bob. Anybody else?
Terrain Martin, 3445 Review Road. I watched the planning commission meeting last Monday on the issue of the CMH Murphy Lake Road. That was part of their meeting. I was pleased to hear one board member say, if the residents are concerned, then the board should address it. I thought, wow, really? The residents' concern means something to the board? It wasn't always that way. Then another board member mentioned 3 times that a commercial business cannot be in an ag residential zone. It might not have been relevant to that business, but hearing the board member say that was wonderful. Then later in the meeting, he said, we need to enforce our ordinances. I again went, wow, why wasn't that said when there were discussions about the special use permit for a landscaping business at the gravel pit on Sheridan Road? Many residents attended many meetings. That permit was discussed. Never did I hear or believe that the residents' concern mattered. The board approved that permit because they wanted a landscaping business. If they would have followed the ordinance, there cannot be a commercial business in the ag residential zone. Maybe there wouldn't be a lawsuit against the township if they followed the ordinance. Yes, I bring this up about the special use permit because that gravel pit is in my backyard. So is the continuous noise and the gravel truck running up and down Sheridan Road. Enough is enough. Well, now I can only hope that the planning commission has learned from their past decisions and that they will now follow the ordinances and listen to the concerned residents. Not just approve permits because of their own agenda. The township has had several lawsuits due to the decisions of the planning commission in the past few years. That cost the township money. I also hope that our township supervisor attends or at least listens to the planning commission board meetings and the zoning board meetings, so he knows what was discussed, because it is his job to make sure the boards do their job correctly. Thank you.
Thanks, Lorraine. Anybody else?
I don't know if I can get through all this stuff here, but this is about our CMHG. And I have multiple tests. This first one, I guess, is directed on what I'd like to happen. It's based on the planning commission meeting. I have another one that's based on the zoning administrators, CMH. For a response saying that it's finalized. I was only able to get a few of these copied. And you need one to talk through it, but I don't know if I'm going through it, like I said. I don't know if you guys can share
Sure.
somehow.
I'll share with her. You're good.
I do have another one here.
Thank you.
The next one on that, it's up by the planning commission.
You want some entered in
Uh,
records,
can't do-
Mhm.
oh, that's just, okay. All right, my name's Ken Weber, 4138 Murphy Lake Road. Going back to planning commission last week, I got through the notes. And in there it says new business, if you read down where I have highlighted, it says allow this type of CMH facility in the township. Per the attorney, it is allowed because they are using family dwelling facility. So under section 401 or 501B, it is approved for our township. Also per MCL 400.703 4K, PC cannot impose any special use permit requirement. My question is, what attorney and law firm says this is allowed? All this, what they said. And planning commission, because our 501 is single family dwellings. The CMH to me is not a single family dwelling. It's got 4 people from there. They're not related. And it's a business running. They're making profit off these 4 people. In state law that it says there, 403K is a definition of adult foster care licensing act. And all this is a definition. It doesn't say anything that you can't create a ordinance against it. And then there's Michigan law 400.703 I attached there for you guys to see. And if you go down, it says 4 is adult foster care, and it says at the end there, highlighted in green and yellow, facility does not include any of the following. So adult foster care is not A, B, C, D, E, C. K is the private CMH. So it's not adult foster care, supposedly according to the adult foster care law. So I don't know what the unnamed lawyers are coming up with, because there's nothing there that says the CMH is untouchable by local laws. I even typed in Google here, do community mental health facilities do they need to follow local laws? Yes, community mental health facilities are supposed to follow local, state, and federal laws through AI. Local governance, same thing, state and local laws. Is foster care a commercial residence facility? Adult foster care 6 or fewer must be occupied by the licensee. It's not, it's a business. There's a business that's running that place. Is it a commercial business if it's a mental health? Says if it's mental health down here, adult foster care, they'll put them in adult foster cares. The CMH, these people, if it's more than 24 hours. Rather than for-profit, commercial, for-profit is commercial businesses. So that's a commercial business, according to this, because it's for-profit. So why are we going after for that? Community-based to avoid institutionalization rather than acting as commercialized housing. This is commercialized housing. Next one is I just put in there for the community mental health stuff. The back here is the final part of the action that the committee is going to talk about. The planning commission meeting. So I just highlighted the same thing. They voted on it. They said it should come back to you guys. And then these last ones here, I think township board needs to take a second opinion or get a second opinion from a different law firm. Because what this current law firm has done nothing that I can see that's applicable laws to this place. And if you can read through the rest, but you let me keep going, but it's in there is,
Yeah.
No, your time's up. Yeah, sorry.
okay. Yes, I'll come back to the next one.
Anybody else for public comment? Well, Fletcher, 9800 State Road. I have some questions here under this old business, under this agenda. Are we doing away with the planning commission? Because this looks to me like a whole bunch of stuff that should have been done by the planning commission and wasn't. It was never brought to us. We've never discussed any of this. Does Tammy Denzer replace the planning commission? I don't understand this. Any of it. We've already heard that she don't enforce the regulations like she's supposed to. I don't know why we're still paying her. She ought to be fired. She's done nothing but cause all kinds of confusion and problems within this township. And half of the stuff that's going on, she's caused. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of getting beat up because I'm a planning commission member and then she goes around and stabs us in the back. I'm tired of her going and lying to the individuals in this community. She tried to put one businessman out of business, cost him his place. Fortunately, he listened to reason and he did not listen to her and do what she was trying to talk him into. Because if he'd have followed what she wanted, she would have immediately shut him down and destroyed his business. Now, enough's enough. If the planning commission is going to do the ordinances, then we need to be doing them. None of this in here, these proposed amendments, were not discussed by the planning commission. None of us. They were never brought to us. I want to know what you're going to do about it. Thank you. Thanks, Doyle. Anybody else? Dwight?
What kind of 8812 Fulmer Road? I was just wondering if the township has any leeway to make an ordinance on the signs that are posted on corners with all the accidents that we have happening. And there's lawn care service, scrap metal, roofing companies plastering their signs on the intersections, on telephone poles, stop signs. Does Millington Township have any way to regulate that or stop these people from putting them up? Because you pull up an intersection and it's like, oh, roofing. And then all of a sudden you pull out and at a stop sign and you get hit. I was just curious if there's anything that can be done to restrict those.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Dwight. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay. Steve Lay, 7600 Osborne. I just wanted to clarify a few things that I heard here tonight. I don't understand how we can accept 6 sets of minutes in a row. I understand from my training that, they have to be, they need to be consecutively accepted. And that's kind of a question I wrote down. I don't understand that. I always thought the minutes were null and void if you waited too long, but I think I need to follow up on that one. But as I sat here and I listened to some of the attacks and some of the misfeasance and malfeasance, and I mean, everybody in this room, I mean, we can point to dozens across the board, across this board, former members, former zoning administrator, planning commission members. It's so deep, it's sad. We get up here, we kick that can down the road and everybody's kicking it the other direction, but some of the people that are doing the kicking are the problem and I respect you, Doyle Fletcher, but I don't understand. You come up here and you say half of the lawsuits that are happening right now to this township, more than half, came on board before Tammy Denzer came along. And I'm not up here defending Tammy Denzer, I'm just calling out the facts. That's the facts. The planning commission is the one that was not following ordinances and this board. And the planning commission is the one that put the commercial entity that we've been dealing with for 5 years. And CMH is just like what we've been dealing with out at Murphy Lake. We had over 100 signatures and it got ignored for 5 years. And now we go to court and we look stupid, all of us as a township. And we look like little kids because we keep kicking the can. There's guilt everywhere. Conflict of interest, open meeting act violations, just follow the ordinances. You all, Mr. Maschke, last March, the minutes you just accepted, he stood up here and said, follow the ordinances, follow the ordinances. Yeah, and if you follow the ordinances, that's all we've been asking up Murphy Lake for 5 years. So it wasn't all Tammy. There's enough guilt to go around. And, last year, Mr. Loomis, we delayed the appointment of a few planning commission members for almost a year. Reappointment. That's sad. That's on you. And now here we sit again, looking at reappointments, as Doyle mentions. Come on, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Bob.
Anybody else? Okay. New business, Mid-Michigan Beekeepers Association.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jeff Harris. I'm with the Mid-Michigan Beekeepers Association Bee Club. We meet here in Millington at Church of God, the first Thursday of every month. We have 120 members. Our main purpose is to support and educate beekeepers. We now have community hives, 2 community hives. And they're hives that we would train people on. They would actually come out that don't have hives, and we get a hands-on training experience. The problem is the bee club doesn't own any property. So where can we put those hives? So I'm here tonight to ask if we could put 2 hives on the township cemetery next to the barn and the property. We do currently have our 2 hives on adjoining property. They're sitting on private property. We'd like to move them just onto the township property and then be able to park in front of the barns. We would meet the first Thursday of the month at 5:30 to do an inspection before our meeting at 7 o'clock. And then we would do it 2 weeks later on a Saturday or a Sunday. We're talking 10 to 15 cars, couple hours. Hope we wouldn't bother the residents of the cemetery. It's just a training. And that's what I'm here to request. So I don't know if there's any questions.
So you'd have 2 hives total or 4?
We'd have 2 hives total.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where would you put them?
So we've already talked to the 2 sections there.
Okay.
They've given me an idea where they would be comfortable with them. And we've also talked to them and said they mow as close as they're comfortable. We would take care of the mowing up next to them.
Okay.
We would take care of all the yard work that they're not comfortable with.
I think it showed you had insurance.
Yes.
I think I did see that.
Yep, I did send the insurance up here.
Okay.
Yeah, we had the honor of being there when you placed your first set, and it was very interesting. I think it's very community oriented and very good. And like I said, you have all your insurances and everything in process. As far as I'm concerned, I think it's a good thing to do. And like I said, they'll be mowing and taking care of it. So I'm, as a member of the board, feel it's be very good.
And we are open to, it's just not members.
Mhm.
If community member, people want to come up and watch, and we do have extra booths. Maybe they'll be beekeepers.
Yeah.
Be our hope.
I know my son-in-law got like 12 on my property, Alex Patton.
So he's actually the chair of our
Oh, is he?
community.
I didn't know he
Yeah.
was chair. I know he
Yeah.
belonged to it, but I didn't know he was
Yeah.
chair. Okay.
So that's my request. So we put the 2 hives and then we're able to park there when we're dealing with the hives.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number two, the Lions Club, White Cane Drive, they use the back room here every year. Well, when they had the rummage sale drive, they always use the back room here. Basically to bring their money in and count it, and also people come in and get their stuff and go out. I think we're in 5 different places this year, so. It's something we do every year, and they wanted me to request their White Cane Drive, May 2nd, to use this back room. Okay, any other questions on that? The next thing is discussion on spending policy.
This is Laura's.
Yeah, so Laura got this together. It's just a basic spending policy. If you want to look it over, it just clarifies when and where things can be spent, by whom, when it needs a receipt, when it needs quotes, when it needs full board approval. So if this is, it also has some other approval things on the backside, when we can use a credit card and the limits. So she wanted us to look at it. If we want to think it over and add anything or change anything, this is just a basic policy that she found. So, and it's highly recommended we have a policy in place, so when something comes up, we know what is allowed and what is not.
Did we have a policy before, Sharon?
No, we did not.
Okay.
That's why we need to put one in place. Because we looked back, I thought there was a limit at one point, way back when, but we could not find anything in the minutes or anything written in the policies. So this is just one more policy we're trying to get updated.
I know at one time I could spend up to $1,000, but. And it was in the minutes.
Yes, and I
Go back and look, but.
we didn't find that, so if you
Okay.
can find it, that's,
But I mean, if we're gonna change it, that's fine too. I mean,
yeah.
any other questions on the spending policy? Currently.
It looks fairly thorough for a basic place to start.
Any other questions? Okay, the next one is legacy assessing. I don't know if anybody, this is something it's normally a 2-year contract. 25, the cost was 31,000. 26, it was 32,500. For 27, it's 33,600, and then for 28, it's 38,400, or I'm sorry, 34,800. The numbers turned around. So I don't know if anybody's got any questions on that.
You like them?
Yeah, she normally goes up so many percent a year, and I think it's within reason. She does do a good job. And I know whenever I've called her, she's been on top of things, so I think it's doable.
They were hired in 2009.
2009, yeah. Okay, anything else on legacy assessing service contracts? Number 5, MTA planning and zoning training.
This is a training that's available for whoever can attend. In Frankenmuth, it's on May 13th. The time, registration is at 4 p.m. The class is held from 5 to 8 p.m. So it's an evening meeting. And we would like authorization that anyone that is able to attend in the planning and zoning boards, or even this board, or the zoning administrator, be made available to attend. And the cost, early bird cost is $100 per person.
Robert?
Yes,
We discussed that during the planning commission meeting also. And if you attend, you can also get a discount for the 3 books that they offer,
okay, yep,
which I would like the board to consider that. It'd be a good asset for the planning commission members.
you don't have no costs associated with that, or,
I think it drops it.
Just got a price of $114.
for the books?
Get all 3
Yep.
books.
Yeah, 114, you are correct, yeah.
Now, are you assuming books for everybody or just for the, I mean, is that what? For whoever wants them?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm just
Well,
asking.
one set to have available is probably good.
Normally we have them in the office. The books.
I don't know if these are updated. I don't know how often they update them, but
They kind of update them one at a time. So one of them might be newer than,
I have them in the office already.
We do.
yeah, but I don't know if maybe these are updated books. I can't tell you for sure, but we do have some in there.
Check them out. Library.
yeah, we could check the print dates on those. And then if they aren't up to date,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good deal.
Yep. Any other questions on planning and zoning training? Okay, number 6, discussion on direct deposit for Millington Township payment.
Okay. I'd like to just do a little explanation. I'd like to provide some context regarding the township's recent consideration of changes to our payroll practices, including the move toward direct deposit and the discussion around firefighter pay frequency. This issue was prompted by a concern raised regarding Michigan Payment of Wages and Fringe Benefits Act, specifically section 401.472, which requires that employees be paid on a regular and timely schedule. The intent of this law is to protect employees by ensuring prompt payment of earned wages, establishing clear obligations for employers, and preventing abuse or inconsistent payroll practices. A concern was raised that this requirement may necessitate paying all township personnel, including our paid-on-call firefighters, on at least a monthly basis rather than the current quarterly schedule. In reviewing this matter, it became clear that there is some uncertainty in how this law applies to paid on-call or volunteer firefighters. Their compensation structure, typically based on per call or nominal payments, differs from that of traditional employees, and this appears to create a gray area in interpretation. It is also important to note that our current quarterly payment system has been a long-standing, documented, and well-understood practice. Most importantly, it reflects the preference of the firefighters themselves. Informally, I also spoke with members of several other fire departments, and quarterly payment appears to be a common practice among similar departments. That said, moving to a monthly payroll would have operational impacts. It'll increase administrative workload, include more frequent payroll processing and reporting by the department officer, and significantly increase the number of checks issued by the township. While there is a valid discussion to be had about compliance and best practices, it's also worth considering whether a system that has been functioning effectively and meeting the needs of those directly involved should be changed without clear legal necessity. Decisions like this should be based on clear statutory requirements or demonstrated need, not on uncertain interpretations or external pressure. If a change is ultimately required, we will of course comply. However, absent the clarity, it is reasonable to question whether altering an effective system is necessary. At this point, I ask the township board to evaluate its option carefully to ensure we remain compliant with applicable law while also being mindful of administrative efficiency and the preferences of our firefighters. My goal is simply to ensure that any changes we make are based on clear requirements and thoughtful consideration rather than uncertainty or assumption. So I didn't want to make this decision totally on my own. I want the board to consider, if they want it to be paid monthly, I'm more than happy to do that. But if we do pay it monthly, I would like to implement a direct deposit system for all employees of the township. Which would include all board members, commission members, administrative assistants, cemetery employees, firefighters, cleaning personnel, and lawn mowing. So I guess I need to see what you, as a board, feels, if this is a necessity to do monthly, or to keep them quarterly.
I don't think either way should affect our direct deposit idea. Because if it's. I mean, we can get up with the times, a lot of people direct deposit now.
Right.
A lot of employees, employers. That's all they do,
Mhm.
so.
So, and to implement that, I would need, we would need to do a direct deposit policy. And then also establish a resolution for direct deposit, which I did give you copies of what those would be, if we decide to implement that tonight. So that's,
So you're saying we can force members for direct deposit? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm not, we can't force someone to
Okay.
do that. No.
The only reason you mentioned quarterly pay, I told you before, I checked with the MTA attorney and I checked with our own township attorney. It must be at least monthly.
The issue that is at hand, it says for all employees. And the issue with fire departments, are they considered employees or not? That's where the gray area comes in.
That's what the payroll says.
If you want them to be considered employees and turn this into monthly, I'm fine with that. I didn't want to make the decision on my own. I want that to be a board decision. So that's why I'm bringing it up.
Well, I specifically spelled out the firefighters and the MTA attorney and also our own attorney, and they told me absolutely it must be at least once a month.
Okay.
So I'm just giving you the information.
Well, this law was put into practice made in 1978. And in all those years, the firefighters still in volunteer fire departments, the majority are paid quarterly. That's all my point is.
I'm just telling you what the MTA
There-
attorney and
there
also
has-
our own attorney told us.
There has been other discussion in different areas where are the volunteer firemen real employees or are they in their own kind of little, like you mentioned, gray area? That's come up before this board a couple of times before. It is nice when you can do what the people themselves prefer.
But you also gotta follow the law.
So that's your interpretation of the law. I'm fine.
No,
I'm fine with
just
doing
giving
that.
you the information.
Okay, so that, anyway, that's where we stand. So if we want to do that, I do have like I said, the policy. And I do also have, the, resolution. So we can do that tonight. If you want to get the ball rolling of paying them monthly
How long will that take you to
to implement.
incorporate?
Well, I have to get forms filled out by every employee with their bank information. It's gonna take some time. I'm hoping to do it within a couple months, but we also have to do a trial where you put money in, $1 in, and take it back out to make sure you have the right account. We have to, but it does make it safer for all involved. Because it is a direct deposit, they're not gonna lose the checks, that kind of thing. So I'm not saying it's a bad system. I'm just saying, I just want it to be a board decision.
I don't have a problem with it because I see it says voluntary and I think if you want to, that's fine. If you don't, that should be fine also.
So you would have a few people getting checks and everybody else is direct deposit?
Yeah, that's the way it's always worked where I came from. You had your choice. And I see it says voluntary, so I assume you got your choice.
I think,
The compliance for this, I hope would be very, the majority.
Yeah,
Because to do half and half, you're wasting time and energy, and the people that get the checks may not get them as in a timely fashion as a direct deposit. So, okay, that's,
I don't mind either way. I like getting my check, but I don't mind direct deposit. I've had it in the past. But I can see where there would be problems if you've got half and half. I would kind of like to go all or none. It just seems to make more sense.
Well, I'm sure we would hand the paperwork out to all of them. And then at that point, most of them would sign up.
oh, and just for your information, the lawyer did look at the direct deposit policy and the payroll resolution, and he put his blessing on it. So it is all good to go if we wanted to do that. So that's all I have.
Okay, any other questions on direct deposit? Number 7, park board appointment. I got Kurt Cobb, Bob O'Neill. Up for reappointments. And also Rob Williams can no longer, he works till 7 o'clock, so he can't make the park board meetings. And so Chelsea Elbord, which has been our caretaker for 5-6 years, she's been after me to be on it, so I'd like to appoint her tonight also. Any questions? Number 8, Tahoe repair quotes.
So there was a uh, accident, deer hitting the police Tahoe. And it has some damage, so we need to have those fixed. We got 2 quotes, which are in front of you. One is from Narstead Collision, one is from McDonald Chevrolet. They are pretty much identical as far as cost. The one difference is that Narstead Collision quoted it with a new bumper. And the McDonald Chevrolet, we're going to repair the bumper. So with the Narstead quote, oh, and also
Instead, we're gonna remove the wrap.
plus Narstead was going to remove the wrap for free because we are going to need a new wrap. And with them removing that, then we can update it to the most current wrap that the Tuscola County Department has.
So they're basically only $8 difference. Am I reading this correctly?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
So yes, the Narstead Collisions quote amount was $2,706.20. And the McDonald Chevrolet quote is $2,714.85.
The only thing I got a question on is the taxes. I don't think we pay taxes on it.
We will not pay taxes on it,
Okay.
no.
I
And
see
this,
there's
and
taxes here, that's why I'm asking.
this will go to our insurance company, so it is an insurance claim, so we won't be paying that amount. We'll be paying our deductible.
What is it, $1,000?
I
Do
do
you know
not,
right offhand?
I do not know that,
I guess I.
no.
So we get another bang for our buck with those things.
Yes. We'll have a new bumper for that.
Okay, number 9, discussion on log for land splits and combinations and lot line adjustments.
Yeah, so you have a lot of land splits and things. Is it possible to get a log made up of the name and the dates? And some information, just more or less, so we can have them logged, so if there's a question later in time, 2 years down the road, we can look at the log and see when exactly the land split was done and make it easier to come across and find the paperwork.
Well, I'd like to explain exactly what happened here. On March 23rd, 2026 at 2:17 PM, I explained to the zoning administrator that the property and the neighbors were a combination and split on both properties. In other words, the neighbor of this individual had 2 parcels. He combined them together and sold 25 foot off of his and gave it to the neighbors. March 24, 2026 at 9:22 a.m. on the property that she was requiring about. This is a zoning administrator. I explained that there was a lot line adjustment. March 24, 2026 at 1:43 p.m. The zoning administrator said she understood there was a lot line adjustment but needed the new lot dimensions. March 25th, 2026, 7:37 a.m. I emailed the new lot line dimensions. March 27th, 2026 at 10:44, I received an email that she needed more information. March 27th, 2026 at 1:32 p.m. She received email that she was going on vacation and will not be checking her emails till April 6th. April 6th, she sent an email about prior requests about more information. I know this came up with a private investigator, so I want to get this straight. So everybody knows I've got April 6th, I sent the zoning administrator an email telling her that first she wanted lot dimensions, which I gave her, and told her I could not leave and go to the office, but this is where you can find it beside your zoning permits. It's either in 2024 or 2025. That was at 3:54 p.m. April 6th, 2026 at 4:02 p.m. She contacted Jackie to retrieve this information and said, as I quote, "It is apparently far too much for the ask of the supervisor," I quote. All this is a retaliation for me not getting in my car and going to the township so I can do the zoning administrator's job. She knows where these records are, but wants me to do her job. When someone comes in the office and inquires about zoning permits, I have to look them up. This is all about creating a hostile work environment because I would not do what she says. Don't kid yourself, there is not a problem and never was. She just forgot that she is an employee and she works for us, we don't work for her. This is a pattern that is used by the zoning administrator, that if you don't do what she says, she retaliates. Just look at the charges that she has been getting against me and also the charges that she has been brought against the planning commission. This practice needs to be stopped immediately. I will file a complaint against the zoning administrator for creating a hostile work environment. This isn't necessary. It never was in place. Like I say, when somebody comes in, wants a zoning permit, I have to look through them and get them.
Would it make it easier for you if you had this information in a logbook somewhere
No,
to refer back to?
I don't have
other
no problem
splits
now, so I don't know why I'd want to put extra work to myself, but it's not necessary.
So what is your idea of teamwork? When someone in the office needs something and someone is available right near it that could get it for them, what teamwork what would you describe as teamwork?
Sharon, I wasn't even up here. It was 3:54 in the afternoon. I was busy doing something and she wanted me to run up here and get it.
Well, what about before she even went on vacation when she requested it? Couldn't you have gotten the information to her during that time when she needed the paperwork? You gave her the dimensions. It said
That's what she wanted.
112 by 243. You needed to, or whatever the numbers were. I'm just, don't quote me.
Those weren't the numbers, but yeah, you're correct.
So what she needed was the maps, she needed the measurements of both pieces of property, and you have them right behind you in your desk, you could have supplied them. So anyway, the reason that we're asking that we have these things documented and put, so when the next person comes in that takes the zoning administrator's place, the supervisor's place, anybody that comes in, if there's been a split that has been in 2024, 2023, 2019, they can go to the log and say, okay, here's the name, this is where it would be at, and that it will increase the ability to find them sooner. That is the point of what we're liking a log. Is that a possibility of you doing a log to help the service to our community goes smoother, so the person that needs these information isn't waiting because there's a feud in the office.
I
I
think,
don't think it's necessary.
But
It
it-
never was, and
So we're
I
always
think
gonna
it's
do
just
what
a-
we've always done.
it's just a lot of extra work.
For you to write down on a sheet that says, a log that says such and such a date, this person had a split, and this is the address.
Yeah.
That's real hard.
that would not be extra work. It would be simple and it makes complete sense for the future and future efficiency of the office. I would encourage you to consider it because it's not just about us now here today. We're looking forward and trying to make things better for the community and the office efficiency here going forward. And that's, again, part of the teamwork idea that all of the people that have been contacted
How long
keep
did it take-
reminding us that we need the teamwork.
How long did it take you to figure out the system that you got going on there?
It wasn't long, maybe a month. I mean, it's all right there by year. I mean, you just look through them, there it is.
If
It
you,
would help if somebody came in with an address, if you looked up the address in the logbook, you would know what year to go back to, what happened.
So you want a log for every year, or you want a log for the total?
Running
A running log?
that you're thinking cross-reference both the year and the address. Because we don't always know what year Farmer Jack split this part off.
I don't think it's necessary, that's what I asked.
He's refusing, so, okay.
Road commission, any other questions on that? Road commission, roadside spraying, it's the same as what we had last year, it's the same price. They do all the secondary roads of the township. At a cost of 15,000. We was set up last year, but I guess their contractor quit. It's something to consider. I don't know if there's any questions on it. I know they go by and spray all the brush on the roadside, and the idea of that is keep the brush down.
What is the cost on that?
15,000.
And how many, is that? Do they spray like just once through the whole county, a township?
I believe Sharon, it was only once.
Once, okay.
Yeah, it's just township wide one time. Any other questions on the roadside spraying? Okay, next thing we got is zoning administrator's report. Are there any questions on the zoning administrative report?
No.
No.
Okay, the next thing we got is old business, proposed amendments. I've done a lot of research through the MTA. And this is what I found. The zoning ordinance is adopted by the township board and reflects legislative policy decisions that are at their essence based upon the public health, safety, and welfare. Before a zoning ordinance reaches the township board, it must go through the planning commission process, ending up with a recommendation on a proposed text and map. Ultimately, the township board adopts the zoning ordinance or amendments to it. As a legislative policy body, when a new land use or potential change to the zoning ordinance is being considered, the township board in many cases will provide the direction to the planning commission on what is to be accomplished. The planning commission then initiates the drafting process to implement that direction, which should result in planning commission submitting its draft and recommendations to the township board for final adoption. Amendments to the zoning ordinance follows the same process as adoption of the original ordinance. Before submitting any recommendations to the township board, the planning commission must hold at least one public hearing preceded by a publication in a local newspaper at least 15 days before the scheduled hearing. I guess what I get out of this is it's the planning commission's job to draft and recommendations to the township board. It's not the zoning administrator.
Did you find that in our ordinances?
That is in MTA book,
Mhm.
page 359.
Did you find that in our zoning ordinances?
No, I didn't.
The planning commission shall have the power to review and approve site plans of this ordinance. Let me see. I didn't know ahead of time you were bringing this up. But I know in our ordinances, it doesn't say that the planning commission has to make the zoning, these things. We actually were verified and okayed and gave the zoning administrator the permission to do these, take them to the lawyer. And the next step is she was hoping the board will direct the planning commission to review and go over the things that she's presenting to them. And at that point, they can make any changes that they would like. And then to also move forward for setting up public hearings. So this, Mr. Kletcher was just pointing out that the zoning administrator did this, but she did this upon our request and upon our, as a board, direction for her to put them together, take them to the planning commission, let them review them, let them change them. They have something to start with, and then they would go and take the steps of setting up a hearing.
We did ask her to do that as an effort to save time. When you got a group of people trying to make an ordinance, it can get dragged out forever. This gives them a good, basic, solid document to start with, which they can review and make changes before they do their hearing. All the other steps will still be followed. You also have that the lawyer knows we know we're heading in the right direction legally because the lawyer has already had a chance to look it over. This isn't that far. It's to make things more efficient, and we need to get better on our efficiency. It does not cut out the planning commission. They will still review it. They will still make the changes, and then they send it back, which then we still have the chance to review it and decide if we accept the changes or not. Those steps will all be followed. But this is a way to get them a packet to start with right now.
And to work as a team, a collaboratory effort to get things accomplished.
One
This
person though, that's not a team.
No, it
She's
isn't.
taking it to them for their approval. It's a starting step. That's all I'm saying. It's a starting point. They can make any changes, and they are the ones that set up the hearing. They hear from the community, and they're the ones that, this is just here. This is a starting point.
And that's part of her job description?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Create these? Okay. Now she's enforcing. Enforcement.
So that's my opinion on this, and I believe that these ordinances have gone through thoroughly, and I believe that they've also been reviewed by the lawyer. And it would be a very big waste of time to throw them in the trash and have the planning commission start over when they have enough things on their plate as it is.
I never mentioned about throwing them in the trash.
I'm just saying,
What I'm saying is it should have went to the planning commission
but
first.
our board voted for her to do this.
I think part of the reasoning is that there was certain things that possibly needed to be added. And then they removed any double talk amongst the ordinance itself.
That's right.
That way, two lines didn't say contradicting things.
And it went through Wade Trim.
Wade Trim looked it over, prepared it. Now it's the planning commission's job to go through and double check it.
Wade Trim has done other ordinance suggestions for us in the past. They've been our company for years. They did our master plan. I don't know why this isn't
I don't,
Tammy's ordinance like you try to say.
I don't,
This is Wade Trim's ordinance.
I don't have nothing against Wade Trim. I just said I think the planning commission should have been more involved.
This is where they're becoming involved.
Well, they should have been involved before now.
And why wait?
So moving forward, can we present this to the planning commission, send this to them and ask that they review this, look at it and maybe set up a hearing in June or something?
Yeah.
Okay,
And I believe the 18-02 has already been approved by the planning commission to be repealed also. I think that one is an actual, we need to remove it.
That one's already
Been
done.
incorporated into something else.
It's already incorporated in the new one.
The other two are the ones that we sent to the planning
Planning
commission.
commission. Any other questions on the proposed amendments? Number 11, enforcement authorization 20.
Probably me.
Okay,
Township records indicate that Mr. Richard Morris was issued building permit number 2024-007 on March 8, 2024. That permit authorized specific construction activities on the property. However, it did not include construction of a dirt berm or authorized the placement or use of a recreational vehicle on the parcel. The township has identified and documented 3 separate ongoing violations of zoning ordinance. Number 1, construction of a dirt berm without the zoning permit, section 3.02. A dirt berm has been constructed on property that was not included in zoning permit number 2024-007. Section 3.02 requires that a zoning permit be obtained before any construction or land alteration is undertaken. Because no permit was issued or amended to authorize this activity, the berm constitutes unauthorized construction in violation of section 3.02. Number 2, placement of a recreational vehicle on land without permit, section 14.15. A recreational vehicle has been placed and maintained on the property without issuance of a recreational vehicle permit. Section 14.15 of the zoning ordinance regulates storage and use of recreational vehicles, including limitations on use and the requirement that a valid permit be obtained and displayed for such use on vacant property. Township records confirm no permit has been issued for RV currently located on the parcel. Number 3, expiration of zoning permit without commencement of section 3.02C. Section 3.02C provides that a zoning permit expires 1 year after issuance unless the approved use has been commenced within that time. Building permit number 2024-007 was issued on March 8, 2024, and has since expired without evidence of the authorized construction was commenced and without any request for extension or reissuance accordingly. Any activity on the property is no longer authorized and the property is currently in violation of the ordinance. On December 16, 2024, the township issued a formal warning letter identifying violations of section 3.02 and 14.15, including construction of a dirt berm without a zoning permit and placement of a recreational vehicle without a required permit. The property owner provided 15 days to correct these violations. On July 29, 2025, additional correspondence was sent noting that the zoning permit had expired, no recreational vehicle permit had been issued, and no response has been received to prior township communication. The township again outlined steps necessary to bring the property into compliance. Current conditions based on observation. Recent site observations and photographic documentation confirm that the unauthorized dirt berm remains in place, the recreational vehicle remains on the property, and there's no valid zoning permit or recreational vehicle permit authorizing these conditions. These conditions demonstrate continued non-compliance despite multiple notices and opportunities to cure. The staff recommendation, the township has made repeated efforts to bring this property into compliance through written notice, direct communication, and opportunity to cure. Currently, escalation to formal enforcement is appropriate and consistent with township policy and ordinance requirements. The recommended motion, I move that the Millington Township Board authorize the zoning administrator to proceed with municipal civil infraction enforcement for case number 2024-039 involving violations of section 3.02 zoning permits and section 14.15 recreational vehicles of the Millington Township zoning ordinance for property located on Birch Run Road, parcel ID 017-019-000-2600-12, including issuance of municipal civil infraction notice of violation and if necessary, a civil infraction citation in accordance with township policy. Any questions?
Well, I know Richard digs ponds for a living,
Yes, he does.
and I was just wondering if he used that recreational vehicle for an office. Do we know that?
No, it does not. His original building permit was for. He was digging the pond to use for fill, for his housing foundation and for his final foundation. He never built either one of them. He had also never went to Carroll for codes and got any permit over there. When he dug his pond, that's right next to the drain, the Burns drain. He needed to go over to Carroll and get an erosion permit. He did not do that. He did not get any building permits over there. So that showed that he was not really going to build anything. I mean, he never went and got any of the permits. He got his permits from Eagle for the pond. He got his permits through the drain commissioner for his pond. But he did not go over to Carroll and get any permits for any type of building or for putting the pond in, which I know I live at Mercury Lake, anything within 500 feet of Mercury Lake, I have to have an erosion study done. Go through all the erosion and have all the fence, the erosion fence, everything has to be put in place and it all has to be inspected. Nothing was ever inspected when he put that pond in. And he's supposed to stay 100 feet from the center line of that drain. He cannot put any building in that section. There can be no structure. The pond's within that 100 feet, so.
I know I dealt with Richard before, and he's a hothead. He's gonna do what he wants, and I know he got
Everyone I've talked to, that's exactly what I've
he
got out of it.
yeah.
The drain commissioner had the same statement.
Yeah, he came up township and I said, "It's your problem's not with us, it's with the drain commissioner."
Well, the problem that he did have with us with filling, because all he had to do was come in and get permit.
Yes, and he did that. He had plenty of chances to come in. I have a complete chronological account of the complaint.
You gotta understand Richard, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Because he was at, he'd come in and talk at the meeting and was given the opportunity to try to get this thing straightened out. And he was supposed to come up and get some permits from Jackie and he never came up. So it's kind of pretty slates in disregard for any of our authority.
No,
So that's.
I'm just telling you, I know Richard and
Yep,
I know what you're saying.
I haven't had to deal with you personally.
You have a question,
It's fun.
not with, we have a question in the back.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bob.
I just have a quick question on that. Has a formal complaint been filed by someone and given to the township?
Well, do we need a complaint to stop the building when it's over a year old? He's supposed to do his building within the first year. So, we need a complaint to have to.
What's that?
I believe there was a formal complaint, wasn't there?
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
I don't know, Sharon, to be honest.
Let me
with
look
you.
real quick.
Quite honestly,
I think Spring was just visually seen.
The burn is visually seen and the neighbors could have said something, but I don't know as I've actually seen where it says.
I don't think I've ever
But it's-
seen one, but
It's not mandatory that it has a complaint.
February 17, 2025. Millington
That was brought before the
voted that
town.
a formal complaint had to be signed and turned into the office in order for the township to take action.
okay.
Is this
All
from
mine says is
Or-
February 17, 2025. The matter was brought before the township board again and continued outreach was encouraged.
The original complaint was 24. or it got started, I think, in 24.
Yes, the original complaint was started in 24.
If this guy's a hothead, just do it right. That's all I'm saying. Just
Yeah.
don't give him any ammunition to come back on you.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of ammunition to come back with this. He's totally
So.
skirted
Yeah.
building codes in Carroll. Like, that's a mandatory stop. Whenever you get your building permit from here in Beckman, it's your next stop.
A 100% agree.
And that's where he should have went next, and he did not. And like I said, that shows to me that you're not gonna build a building if you never went and got your buildings approved to be built. And he never did.
Not necessarily.
Well, he could have did it a different, but he never even came, he would have had to ask for extensions of the year prior to that running out also.
So what you're saying, Paul, he did come in and get a zoning permit, but he didn't get a building permit? Is
He
that what you're
came
telling
in,
me?
he came into the zoning administrator, went through all of that, got his permit there. He
Okay,
had to change it a few times because of the drain. So that had to be changed to meet the 100 foot, you couldn't have a structure within 100 foot of the center line of the drain.
yep,
So that he came in for, and then he did get his permit from the drain commissioner. He went to the drain commissioner, and I tried to get a hold of Eagle. Eagle did not get a hold of me, but the drain commissioner had the information that yes, he went through Eagle and pulled his permit through Eagle. But then he was also told that he had to go to Carroll from there to get the permits to Carroll. And through Safe Builder, and he did not.
I was thinking as far as the county drain, I think they gave him a variance, but don't quote me on that. They was talking about it.
They
As far as being
gave him
so
his
far off the
drawing, and
drain,
they
they're supposed to
okayed
be
his
60,
drawing.
they're supposed to be 66 foot off the center of the drain, but
100 each way is what the lawyer stated in this drain. It's 100 feet off. each.
how on that drain it is? Okay, normally it's 66.
Yeah, our
Okay,
water states 100 feet from the center line each way, so 200 foot
okay.
actual easement for them.
So basically, he got a zoning permit, but he didn't get a building permit.
And he did.
He never finished the
He didn't
building.
get the zoning permit for the berm.
Okay,
Changed
no
all the elevation of the land there.
All his
And
drawings,
then it's,
I'm just trying to figure it out.
but all his drawings, that berm that he stuck out front, there's no mention anywhere. The drain commissioner has their reports of the same thing. Pond is supposed to be dug for fill for the home and the barn. And all the way around, I have all his drawings right here, and his legend, it shows trees, and trees were supposed to be planted all the way around it. No berm. Shows
Okay.
all trees, no berm across the entire Birch Run Road. That berm goes all the way across the entire front of Birch Run Road, and it's very tall, probably about 12 foot tall. Quite a berm.
Okay,
Any other questions on that
I
one?
think that's all I got, Paul, for that one.
Okay, go to number 2. Number 12, I take it.
Yep, number 12.
This was brought back up because it was tabled at the March meeting. I would like to request authorization to initiate the first step in township civil infraction enforcement process regarding the property located at 4850 Murphy Lake Road, parcel number 017040400-1900-00. During a recent site observation, I documented 5 recreational, I'm saying my boss, documented 5 recreational vehicles currently located on the parcel. The Millington Township ordinance regulates the placement of recreational vehicles under section 14.15 recreational vehicle. That section permits no more than 2 recreational vehicles to be stored or parked on a residential parcel, and the vehicles are intended to be stored in a manner incidental to the residential use of the property rather than used as additional dwellings. At this time, no formal complaint has been filed regarding this property. However, the township's municipal civil infraction policy and procedure provides that a case may be initiated either through a citizen's complaint or through the enforcement officer's observation of a potential ordinance violation. Consistent with the township's adapted enforcement procedures, the first step in process would be the issuance of a written warning notice identifying the potential violation and providing the property owner 15 days to correct the condition or to contact the township with a plan for compliance. Because the board has previously directed that enforcement actions be initiated in response to complaints, I am requesting the board's authorization to proceed with sending this initial warning notice letter to the property owner based on my documented observation. This request would simply allow staff to follow the township established enforcement policy and provide the property owner with notice and the opportunity to correct the situation before any further enforcement action is considered. There are 5 trailers on that piece of property, and it's not very big. And we're
Is-
allowed to,
Is he working on them and selling them? Are there people staying in them?
just from my observations, is driving past it over and over and over. Last year, during the summer, it looked like someone was staying in the silver, Airstream. It was like somebody was actually staying in that one. So it was being used as additional buildings on the property. But I mean, if you've ever driven by there, pretty easy to see that it's a little way past. If we're gonna take and enforce our ordinances, this is one that we probably should look into, at least looking to see if we can't get it back into compliance. It's pretty easy for him to at least get some of these off his property.
We drive by it every day too. It's his property. I don't care what he does on there. I mean,
That's the hard part, because we have in the past stated that a complaint would initiate.
But if
Right.
he doesn't know he's in violation, he's not going to fix it.
Right.
He would need the letter to know that he's in
And that's all
violation.
that's being asked, is just to let her be started.
As it was stated before, has there been a complaint filed?
No, that's, I stated right here.
Okay.
As of this time, no formal complaint has been filed.
I just want to make sure.
No.
Okay.
I ask you guys, just be careful because there are multiple trailers on multiple pictures. Pretty Millington Township. Just be careful. Just please be very careful.
Any other questions on that one?
I think that's it, Paul.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What are we at here?
Number 13. Okay, number 13, discussion on CMH residential use.
So. The planning commission wanted me to bring this back to you. They did not like, there was no, that we could not regulate this piece of property. Because it was a business in a residential zone. And they wanted direction on how the board would like to move forward from this. Since the planning commission meeting, we've got other information from the zoning administrator. And I posed several questions to her and her responses. Why this is not considered a business under the zoning. While services are being provided within the home, the legal classification of this is not to be based on whether services occur, but rather on how the use is defined under Michigan law. In this case, the property is a single-family dwelling where individuals reside, and the services are brought to them under the state law, specifically MCL 400.7034K. A private residence with 1 to 4 individuals receiving community mental health services. It is specifically defined as a residence setting, not a commercial or institutional use. The presence of such services provided does not convert the home into a business for zoning purposes. So, you want me to go through all of them, or you want to discuss that one?
No, we can discuss them one at a time, and it might be clearer. The problem is Michigan law trumps township law. That's why we
That's
need,
come in here too.
yeah, that's why we fight so hard to keep local control, but the state just keeps taking and taking. It's going to be a bigger problem in more areas as time goes on.
that's the page I gave you here.
Yeah.
We decided MCL 400 has nothing to do with that facility.
But under the way it's defined as a private residence, because there's 4 people or less, that's what Michigan law says. We don't agree with it, but that's.
That's a definition of like,
Mhm.
that has nothing to do with what he just said. It's not a law. It's within the law saying it's adult foster care is the top, and it says, all this is a statement, this is adult foster care is the 400, MCL 400 is the law for adult foster care. In that page, this 0.703, 4 is a definition for adult foster care. K is the exception that 4 or less is not an adult foster care. It's all it says. It doesn't say you can't have one because it's residential. If you read it, I gave you the page.
So-
It's all printed there. It has nothing to do with. They're not saying you can't have one there. You can't fight it. It's just a definition.
So it all comes down again to interpretation of the laws.
MCL 400 is for adult foster care. MCL 330 is what your lawyer should look at. That's community mental health. I've been looking it up.
Yeah.
It's on that sheet. It's totally the wrong law for that facility. Is what I'm trying to tell you. And you need a second opinion with your lawyer, a different lawyer, because they're looking at the wrong law. for that
Well, we
house.
can take this information to our lawyer
That's,
and say, ask about that. That's,
that's why I brought it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Well, you're still saying that's the law. It's the definition within the law. And it has nothing to do with what you're trying to say that law, Michigan law trumps it.
so
It doesn't say
What
nothing
else do
about
we
that
have,
facility
Bill?
can't be there.
Why the township cannot regulate this as a separate use. The Michigan Zoning Enabling Act, MCL 125.3206(1)B, requires that these types of residence settings be treated the same as any other single-family dwelling of similar density. This means the township cannot require a special land use permit, cannot impose additional or different zoning requirements, and the use cannot be regulated differently simply because residents receive services. As Township Council confirmed, this type of use is by operation of law. A permitted residential use in all residential districts and does not need to be separately listed in the ordinance. Why state law trumps local zoning authority? Townships derive their zoning authority from the state of Michigan. When the state law specifically defines a use and directs how it must be treated, local ordinances cannot conflict with or override that directive. In this case, state statute affirmatively requires that qualifying CMH residential setting be treated as a residential use and prohibits local units of government from imposing different standards. As a result, even if the township wishes to regulate this differently, we are legally
Preempted.
preempted from doing so.
That's in page 3 of your guys' stuff.
What can be regulated?
If
It
you want
is
to page
important to
3,
discuss zoning for other types of enforcement. While zoning cannot address the use itself, other authorities still have tools available. Criminal matters, trespassing are handled by the law enforcement, as noted in the investigation file. Many of the concerns raised by neighbors related to individual conduct rather than the zoning classification of property.
So it is my opinion that we take the information that we've received from Mr. Weber, right, Weber, and send it to our attorney and state, does this make a difference? And get his opinion regarding that.
I'm saying,
I think we should go one step further, and I believe in Ken. Because our attorney, Cole Stoker and Tassi, is Lansing specializes in representing community health agencies among their municipal clients. They provide legal counsel to these agencies, as well as counties and public authorities with expertise in general municipal law, labor, employment, and public health. The focus area, they explicitly list community mental health agencies as a key client base. So I think it's a conflict of interest. I think we ought to check with get another attorney's opinion And I would dare to say probably go to the one that Laura uses.
did this come from a lawyer to you?
Sorry.
The stuff you gave us, was that,
This is the lawyer that we're using?
It's on me, sir.
okay,
Conflict of interest.
125 is actually in the same page. Page 3 of mine has it in there. That's for.
yeah, I got that here.
Well, I,
For CMHs.
But these aren't legal. These are from the book. Our definition of these comes from our own thinking. The lawyers have to be able to defend what they tell us.
But
So
it's also a conflict of interest.
I don't see a conflict
What
of
do-
I'm
interest.
just telling you,
I didn't understand, what do you mean by a conflict? of interest?
because they represent the community mental health agencies.
You, s-
In other words, it's a conflict of
you're
interest. to get
saying that
advice.
our lawyers represent them.
There.
It wouldn't hurt to get a different opinion anyways, whether they did or not that.
So I'm,
I just want to make you aware that I feel it's a conflict of interest.
so noted.
Okay.
That is all I got.
Okay. Any update on job description for deputy
Yes,
supervisors?
This one. Yep.
This just came in today from our lawyer for a little bit. He added a little something here on this formal resolution that we all had in the packet before. The underlined part here on page 1 is just what he put in to help with board oversight. Copy for the minutes. Yes. So to have the deputy supervisor, we need a delegation of authority done. And then the formal resolution, and then the delegation of authority. Here in the packet, we have this form that we can use or start with. We can check which ones we want. We can check all of them, a few of them. Deputy, their job description is covered in the MTA books and everything.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh,
Why is it so
that's
important
the wrong number.
to have a resolution for the deputy supervisor? We've had deputy treasurers and deputy clerks for years. Now we got a deputy zoning administrator. Why didn't we ever have this with them?
They've already been established.
And
The
we've-
treasurers and the clerks, the deputies have already been established, so we don't need the
But the
resolution.
deputy supervisor's already been
Well,
established.
if you don't
No,
trust me,
we've never had one in the
We-
township.
We've never had a deputy zoning administrator either, but we do now. Why isn't he included?
Did you,
Is this discrimination?
bring that up that you needed to, put a
Bob, you
resolution?
want to talk?
no,
Since you're involved,
this is recommended. You have to have the formal resolution to have him when you've not had that position before.
why didn't we do the zoning administrator?
Him, then we still can, and we probably should.
Why are we doing this now? Why don't we do it?
Because this is current. He just got appointed, Robert. You appointed him, what, 3 months ago?
Okay, he's already
So
appointed. So why
we
are
have
doing it?
discussed this for 2 months. It's time to make it official. We have a resolution to allow for that position. He's already got a pay. You've got a
wage
salary
set.
if you choose to take one.
You have a wage set.
And if you don't believe me, Michigan case law 41-62 or 0.622. The township super may appoint a deputy supervisor who shall serve at the pleasure of the supervisor. And this is his job description of what he can and cannot do. at additional times agreed upon between the township board and the supervisor. And it is recommended by MTA that you get a resolution in place so that everything is done right. Yes,
Can I correct you? That is actually MCL section 41.
41.61, I stand corrected.
It spells out what the rules are.
6.1
It doesn't say nothing
parentheses
about
2.
resolution.
Everything we're doing nowadays needs a resolution, just like our,
I don't,
just like the deposit, the direct deposit has to have a policy and a resolution. We're following the
And-
rules,
and-
we're following procedures as
MCL
provided
spells
by
out,
MTA.
MCL spells out what the job assignments are, what his route, what he
Is
can
there-
and can't do.
Is there a reason that you're against
I
having a
just don't think,
resolution?
I think you're discriminating against him.
No,
because you
we
never
aren't.
did
We're
it.
trying to do things right going forward. We're
I
starting.
don't believe that.
3 months ago, you got him
He's already established,
appointed.
so why?
No, he's not established. These resolutions should be in place before he actually takes his job. He may be already doing things to help you, but we want to do things
He's
right.
already been appointed.
Yes, he
And he
has.
needs to have a
And
resolution.
we
in
need to have a
place.
I
resolution.
don't think so.
So,
Well, you need to call Catherine then and
I
at
did,
MTA.
this is what Catherine gave.
Well, I got several things
So-
from Catherine,
Okay,
but I know you're not interested because you didn't ask her those questions.
so
But this is recommended. This is what I propose we do
Okay.
today.
So there was a sheet that had checkoff marks of what to do and what,
Yes.
I didn't
The
see that as part, is that on here?
You guys missed 14 on your agenda.
It. Right here, administrative duties. This one has the checkoffs. Y'all skip to, there's been several forms around. This is just the one that's here today. The board
Oh, we
Needs-
did.
needs to work together on this.
So we did miss number 14 on the agenda.
oh, okay, I'm sorry. Glad you brought that up. Update on planning commission appointments. I'm still waiting for the private investigator to let me know if I did the job correctly. I know the complaint was sent to the planning commission, or I mean, to the private investigator. So I don't want to go ahead and appoint somebody and doing the wrong thing again, so I'm waiting for his findings.
Where did it state that you have to wait for his findings?
So you want me to appoint somebody and find out I did it wrong, and then Robert Bernard's gotta go on also?
I'm
Is that
just
what you're telling me?
No, I'm just asking, where did you find the information that you are not able to appoint the planning commission member?
Oh, I can. I'm just waiting for his findings, of if I did it right or not.
Is there an update on that?
Do you have it in writing?
No, I'm just telling you what it is.
This is your idea then. It's not in writing from MTA or a lawyer or anybody
No.
else. Okay. We got that straight. Yeah, delay
Just
text.
delay.
Okay.
Any other questions on that? We on 16?
15.
15.
15. Okay, update on job description for deputy supervisor, deputy treasurer, and deputy clerk.
So we do have job descriptions for the deputy treasurer and the deputy clerk on file.
I thought we didn't, however, I guess we do.
You do, we put those into place, just to, for your information, they are in place.
Do they mimic what the MPA says? Okay.
They follow the statutory duties.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Number 17, I believe. The treasurer's response to questions emailed her April 15th, 2026 about budget comments.
I had two different emails. One was from Mr. Worth. He was asking why I was not prepared to speak on the refuse fund of the April 7th, 2026 meeting. And my reason, I am not committing to answering before I can verify all the information with the auditor. And that will take place at our audit a week from today on April 27th. And that is when the auditor and I will both be in the office and we will both have access to complete the information that we need. And that is my answer to his question.
Would that be when you find out why
Yes,
your report is different than his
Yes.
report?
we have an idea of why it is happening, but I'm not going to commit to that until we know for sure what the reasoning is.
Sharon, will you finish replying to my email where you told me about the escrow balance or escrow?
I did verify that, the auditor confirmed there's a fund balance of 150,486.99 for refuse. And did you want me to read?
No, you're fine.
Yeah,
That's what I
so
want to
yes,
verify.
so it is verified, the refuse fund. It's the other amounts, the running amounts that we have a discrepancy. Thank you, discrepancy. So that's what we have to figure out, why the reporting for my report is different from what the auditor's report is. So that will be looked into, and like I said, we have an idea why it is, but till we're both here, I'm gonna wait to find the answer.
Okay.
The supervisor sent me some questions. One of them is similar to the first one, you mentioned at the meeting on March 26, 2026, that the refuse fund is $130,000 in the red. Could you explain where you got your figures? And there again, I will be verifying the figures with the auditor regarding the negative amount for the refuse fund that I show compared to the figures that you have. That verification will take place at our audit on April 27th, 2026, and that is when the auditor and I will both be in the office and we'll both have complete access to the information we both need. So then he also asked, I noticed on your email dated April 3rd, 2026, that you transferred funds. Could you explain where these funds came from and why you transferred them? And then the third question, which they kind of go together, I noticed that the BSNA revenue and expenditure report that there were funds transferred when there was enough money to carry the refuse fund through the fiscal year. Could you explain? So, Mr. Loomis, the funds were transferred from the tax checking account to the general checking account. This process is, funds are paid into the township during tax season, journalized to all taxing units daily, deposited into the tax checking account. Every day, all of the tax payments are journalized into the proper funds and special assessment accounts. Every 2 weeks, disbursement checks are calculated and sent to the outside entities such as schools, library, ISD, and county. The rest of the funds for the township remain in the tax account until the end of the tax season. Then after balancing with the county, the funds are transferred from the tax account, deposited into general checking account, and receipted into the proper funds such as general funds, fire fund, police fund, and special assessment accounts, refuse and Murphy Lake weed. So the money deposited into that account is the disbursement of the taxes from the 2025 tax year as required by my statutory duties. Do you have any?
So you transferred $300,468.60, correct? From this year's funds into last year's fiscal year, am I correct on that? Before March 31st of 2026. Am I correct on that?
What do
Because
you,
that's what it showed. I mean, you transferred this money,
I transferred
you transferred this amount into this fund, correct?
I transferred the amount that was paid by the taxpayers. Let me grab my report.
Okay.
Yes. So at the end of the tax season, refuse collected from all the taxpayers for refuse was $300,468.60.
Okay,
Do you have any other questions?
so you transferred that in last year's budget year, correct?
It-
The reason why I'm asking, because At the end of that balance year or fund balance year, you had 319,000 left in that fund. You transferred 300,000. So what that tells me is we had 19,000 at the end of this fiscal year still in this fund. So why did we transfer 300,000 in there?
Because that's how much I'm required just to transfer in from the taxes that were paid.
Well, my question is, isn't that for this fiscal year coming up? So how
It
can you
doesn't-
put it in for last fiscal year?
It does, no, it,
Am I correct? I mean, you transferred it before.
at the end of
3/31.
the tax season, I transfer the funds in there. When the auditor comes, if there's of extra fund balance, that will be transferred into the fund balance account, if there's an overage in that fund. So is this really something that? you
No,
want
I'm
to
just-
Be done with, if you would like to talk about this in the office, like this morning when I was in here with you for 2 hours. I'd be glad to explain this. I'm basically doing my statutory duties. I'm depositing the monies on March 31st. I put the money in from the tax year and it goes into the fund and that's what pays next year's tax, refuse amount. Is that what you mean?
Well, to get back to your question, you didn't give me the same courtesy when you looked at me and said, why is that fund 130,000 in the red which it really is?
Well, that's why I'm saying I'm going to figure out the issues.
But what I'm saying is
Can
you
I-
want me to come into the office and talk to you. Why didn't you give me the same courtesy?
I didn't have a question.
No, you just mentioned at the budget meeting, I was 130,000 in the hole. But I really wasn't.
I never said you were 130,000 in the hole. So anyway, these are the issues. This is why I put money into the into the refuse fund. That is from the 2025 tax year and it pays the 2026 refuse fund. Is that answer your question?
Yeah, what my question is, okay, we transferred this money before this fiscal year. So can we still use that money for this fiscal year since you transferred into last fiscal year? That's what I'm asking.
I transferred the money on March 31st, the last day of the fiscal year,
Mhm.
which is my requirement. And I put it in there and it goes for next year's bills, next year's refuse monies.
Well, that's not the way the BSNA report shows, but that's fine.
Well, you can ask the assessor on next Monday too, if you're gonna be here,
The
and
auditor.
I'm sorry, the auditor on next Monday, so that you can understand it as well.
Did you have a question, Bob?
You know, all I'm gonna say, yes, Sharon, you did say you were 130,000. 380.
You know,
55 cents in the negative, and you were concerned about that. If you're that far behind, how in the world did you guys pay 4 months of refuge if you're a negative balance, 130,386?
See,
That's all. I'm done. You don't have to answer.
I'd like to mention something else that was mentioned in our last meeting. I was enlightened by the MTA about audited report on the treasurer's website. 2024 preparation, and there's 2 years on here. There's more, but I went through 2 years. 2024 preparation of financial statements in accordance with general accepted accounting principle. The township, and this is what the auditor's remarks were. The township lacks internal controls over the preparation of financial statements in accordance with the general accepted accounting principles. Instead, relying in part on external auditors for assistance with this task. The next one he points out is material audit adjustments. Material audit adjustments is an outside auditing firm had to make significant corrections to township's financial records before they could finalize the annual report. His remarks were material audit adjustments. The township internal controls were not sufficiently designed or implemented to ensure that the tax fund balances were properly reconciled in a timely manner. The township internal controls were not sufficiently designed and implemented to detect adjustments that were necessary to report properly adjusted account balances. Accounts are not reconciled in a timely manner. Lack of monitoring expenditures through budget could lead to fund deficit or misappropriation of funds amongst other negative impacts on the funds. We recommend the township take steps to ensure that all accounts are reconciled in a timely manner and that all material journal entries are identified and recorded. That's in 2024. Reconciliation of township funds. Reconciling township funds is when a township fails to timely reconcile the tax fund. It means the township treasurer has not matched the records of taxes collected, dispersed, and remaining tax fund balance, which actual bank statements within a required time frame, generally within 30 days of month end. This failure indicates a breakdown in internal financial controls, which is a significant violation of Michigan's mandated account procedures and poses legal, financial, and operational risk in the municipality. Our auditor's remarks were the township internal accounting record did not properly reflect the financial position of the township resources. This situation increases the risk that misstatements, whether caused by error or fraud, could occur and not be detected in a timely manner. The township should incorporate policies and procedures to timely reconcile the tax fund and expenditures in excess of appropriations. Lack of monitoring expenditures through the budget could lead to fund deficit and misappropriation of funds, amongst other negative impacts of the funds. 2025, your township.
Are you through?
Not yet. The township internal accounting records did not, this is the auditor's remarks. The township internal accounting records did not properly reflect the financial position of the township financial resources. This increases the risk that misstatements, whether caused by error or fraud, could occur and not be detected in a timely manner. Failure to remit state payroll taxes withholding on time may result in penalties and interest assessed by the state of Michigan. State payroll taxes were not paid on time. Marcus informed me that he normally does 74 journal entries or corrections made by the auditor. That's over 6 a month. He wasn't very happy about that. And I asked Marcus if the state was monitoring this, and he said, yes, they are. What happens if this never gets corrected? He states they could withhold our government funds. Revenue sharing be the first one, and that's, we get $348,000 from revenue sharing. This is all on the treasurer's website. The auditor's report comments, if somebody wants to look at them, that's fine. I just wanted to, we need this corrected.
Would you like an explanation?
Why it's on the website?
No, what triggers that information?
I would.
What trigger? Yeah, go ahead.
So when I do my balancing of my tax account, the taxes are done collected on February 28th. And then the new fiscal year starts April 1st. I have to wait for all the entities to cash their checks. Any refund checks that go out to a mortgage company or to an individual, they need to be cashed before I can balance out. So that makes it sometimes mid-April before these entities are paid out. This year, I was able to do them March 31st because everybody cashed their checks and everything was fine. But because of that, Marcus has to put the monies from the tax because they're posted in April, back into the previous year. Also, when the county pays me my delinquent funds I receive those mid-April. So those also have to be put back into the county, into the fiscal year ahead. Those other adjustments you're talking about can somewhat be from budget adjustments that aren't budgeted correctly in the reports. But I'm just stating what my purpose is. And my records, you can look them up. I balance with the county to the penny every single year. My bank statements, the 5 accounts that we have in the bank are reconciled monthly to the penny every single month. And this is another report. First off, I'd like you to know, do you read the rest of the report where it states that the auditor fills out? And one of the statements is the unit free of any indications of fraud or illegal act that came to your attention during the course of the audit and have been previously communicated to the local government financial services division? We are free of any indication of fraud. That was answered yes. And does the local unit have a negative fund balance in any of its unrestricted, unassigned funds? No, we do not. We are not short in any area, and I don't like your implications that we are. Now, next year, on our audit, it's going to say, did the local unit adopt a budget for all required funds in a timely manner? This year, probably not,
Nope.
because of some miscommunications between the supervisor and his knowledge. But I would also like to state the preparation of the final statements in accordance to GAAP, which general accepted accounting principles. As in the case with many smaller and medium-sized municipalities, the township has historically relied on its independent external audits to assist in the preparation of the financial statements and footnotes as part of the external financial reporting process. Accordingly, the township's ability to prepare financial statements in accordance with the GAAP and record processing and summarizing accounting data is based in part in its reliance on its independent external auditors who cannot be defined by definition be considered as part of the township's internal controls. This is what we do. Marcus files our reports. The condition was caused by the township's decision that it is more cost effective to outsource the preparation of its annual financial statements and identification of certain year-end adjustments to its independent auditors than to incur the time and expense of obtaining the necessary training and expertise required for the township to perform the task internally. That's why it's not done internally. Effect. As a result of this condition, the township lacks internal controls over the preparation of the financial statements in accordance with GAAP, instead relying in part on external auditors for assistance with the task. The recommendation. The township's decision to rely in part on its auditor for the preparation of external financial statements is allowable, provided the township accepts responsibility for the financial statements and that it is disclosed as part of the report. Therefore, no specific corrective action is required at this time. So you can point out these things, but you really need to look at the whole picture before you start making accusations that I'm not doing my job properly.
I didn't say your job.
And that's all I was saying.
What I'm saying is, it's a concern to Marcus, it was a concern to MTA that we need to get our act together.
And it's funny that
Oh,
I
that's
talk.
fine.
Can I
Don't
speak?
interrupt her.
It is really funny that when I talk to Marcus, he doesn't give me the same answer that he gives to you. He said, this is the reason, it's a timely fashion, and that's what I just explained.
So you must
And-
talk to different Marcus then. And I asked Marcus about the refuse fund. I talked to Marcus on the issue about the refuse fund being 130,000 in a hole. He says, I don't believe that. He says, what I expect is to have the same fund balance as we did last year. And that this year it was 153,000. He said, I expect the same because that's the way the trend has been going. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm not 130,000 in a hole.
And didn't I say that I would look into this? Why are we arguing in front of all these people?
No, I'm just telling you that
So I've
because you brought it up.
I didn't bring it up tonight.
No, not tonight, but you did the other night.
Can we move on?
Sure, I'm ready. Okay, second public comment. Bob?
I'd like to give you from the last 2 years. These are repeat untimely remittance.
And I already
state payroll
explained that,
tax.
Mr. Worth.
Payroll tax, okay.
There
This
was
is
one,
payroll.
one payroll, and that was an issue that we found.
Doesn't each year. Okay.
He doesn't want to hear the truth.
No, he won't let me speak.
Yeah, let her finish.
He's up here to talk.
You're
It's his-
accusing.
it's his
That's
3
all you're
minutes.
doing.
Showing you what's
No.
on the treasury
One,
website.
one time in 17 years. You're wasting our time.
Really? Wow, I see you really value your public comments. And anyways, there's a first notice and second notice. From the Department of Treasury.
And you know what? I called, they're dated the same, and I called Marcus upon those,
September
and he said they
27th.
must be done in error. So cause
Okay,
2 errors.
wow. Somebody spoke of conflict of interest. About the law firm that Gordon Love and Timothy Perone work for. CST Municipal Law. They work heavily with the MEA, Michigan Education Association, which Tammy is I believe, a lobbyist or something. She writes memorandum of understandings, we call MOUs for the MEA. Your law firm works heavily with Tammy's MEA. Is there any conflict of interest with them? Could Tammy somehow benefit from that law firm representing the MEA? Not alone what they're talking about, the community mental health agencies that they represent. I believe, folks, you guys have a serious conflict of interest here you need to look at, and possibly look at going with another law firm, because why does Laura get a special law firm for her own use for lawyers? I know you said because Mr. Perone didn't get back with her in a timely manner, so she went out and spent $600 without township approval to do it. You can find that on the minutes. But why wouldn't you guys get a law firm that no one associated with the township is tied to in any which way or another? Because this may at some point in time come back to bite the township, and I'm just trying to help the township out. You may not believe that, but when you got conflict of interest, when a person works with alongside a law firm, and then they're going against community mental health, the planning commission, when Sharon or Tammy works with these guys, they're associates. You guys don't see an issue. And when all this comes down about anything with Laura's job, Sharon's job, Robert's job, anybody's job, please do not put any of this on Jackie. She does not deserve any of it, none of it. Because you have a statutory job duty you should do. She has a statutory job duty, and so do you, Robert.
Yep.
Everybody take responsibility for your own job. Sharon, do you have established office hours if someone wants to come in the office and see you specifically? Are you here any day of the week from whatever hour to whatever hour? Do you have set hours? Yes or no? No, thank you. You should have for your.
I do the hours
And
I'm
so does
required.
Laura.
I do the hours I'm required.
There's no law, there's no hours required, but you ought to be available to people.
I am available
Please
to
don't
people.
load any of this on Jackie. She does not deserve any of it for you guys.
Thank
not
you,
doing
Mr.
your
Worth.
jobs.
Thank you, Mr. Worth.
Thanks, Bob. Anybody else? Second public comment? Ed,
Ed Maskey, 7951 Houston Drive. Regarding the ordinance amendments that are being, that's on the agenda. Sharon, you said that the planning commission can change what wage trim has provided. So again, the planning commission will need to review these in detail, take the time, effort to do that. Laura, you said during last month's meeting, that it will be less costly to have just one person work with wage trim. But now the planning commission will need to review this. The planning commission will need to work with Adam Young and understand what was written. Where is the cost savings? I don't see it, okay? When I had talked to actually Adam Young from Wade Trim regarding the zoning map update, we also very slightly discussed the amendments that are being proposed. He felt that it was interesting that he was not working with the planning commission. Please move this activity to the planning commission. That is the way our ordinance was written, and past history has dealt with ordinance amendments. Don't change it. And finally, regarding the 4850 Murphy Lake Road warning letter. I totally agree. That place, it looks bad. I totally agree with what Paul is saying. However, our past policy has always been, you need a complaint letter. Look for some other way to deal with it. Don't change our policies. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. Anybody else? Second public comment, Ken?
Sure. I just want to go through with what I went through with the planning commission, which the way they said it has to come back to you guys anyway. So I figured you guys should get the same information that I gave them.
Does the second public comment have to be on a different subject?
This is separate.
Yes.
This is just going through how the history of 96 came about and how it relates to our ordinance.
So this is just a history thing.
Yeah.
Yep,
I don't,
you have a problem with it?
I don't know.
He serves it already.
Oh, you already heard it?
And that's why, but I just thought, if it's coming back to here, then I could tell you guys too.
In the packet. Yeah, it's already in your packet.
So, does that
Jackie,
mean you guys are reading it?
I'm just saying that I put it in their packet because he brought it to me to provide it to them.
Wow, it's I'm just asking, should I not review it then? What?
But you can review
It's in
it.
their packet, you guys,
Use 3
you guys don't
minutes.
need your public.
you can, it's easier to read on
Really
this.
nice, your community here.
No, go ahead and review it. It's easier to read than the smaller one, but she did supply it to us, so we have it.
I'm just saying that I supplied it for them in
What's-
their packet
But
for them to review.
Yeah.
She's
Go
upset.
ahead, Ken, if you want to explain it for 3 minutes, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. No,
I have seen this. Not everybody looked this over before the meeting is what she
No, I didn't see it, so.
see, but it was in there. She sent it to us by computer. I have reviewed this, but not everybody did. So go ahead. So we were all up to speed.
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, again, my name is Ken Weber, 4138 Murphy Lake Road. I just want to go through this. This 4296, 1990 was built. And through 30 August 2024, it was a residential home, single home, like our residential agricultural says it should be. 17 October 2024, a business, a for-profit that leases to behavioral health provider communities is Capital bought it for cash. Okay, they're for profit. That sounds like commercial. 26 October 2024. I put this in here, the PTA, you received a PTA that these guys bought this property. That this LLC from Chicago, Illinois, and even though it says it's a foreign LLC, purchased it. So from 18 October 2024 through 10 August 2025, Beacon Specialized Living must have acquired the lease because they started renovating, become a healthcare. We've seen dumpsters out front. So I don't know, is that turning into a dormitory if they're gonna house people? I don't think, it's a question ahead. Hired employees to run the healthcare. 11 August 2025, the first Tuscola County Sheriff Police report is when they had the runaway. And that was Alberto found at Bose, 2 miles away from the facility. That's when we found out it's Beacon Specialized Living, which is also for profit. Residential health care facility. Sounds like it's commercial to me. That's not in our, is that agribusiness? No, the state license. Down here, it says they don't have to be state licensed because whatever reason, CMH, some do, some don't. All adult foster cares have to be licensed. CFH or CMHs do not, or they can be. Well, our ordinance says it has to be state licensed. Residential facilities for 6 or less residents is allowed. So why are we allowing this one? It's not licensed. What I found online, CMHs are still bound by local ordinances. Even though you have a lawyer that's stating adult foster care. 400, MCL 400 is adult foster care. That's the definition they're referring to. And it says in a definition that CMHs are not included in AFCs, and the exact thing that they're saying, 4K is That's not, the CMH is not adult foster care. Because it's 4 or less, that's all it states, it doesn't say you can't have it. But that's why I'm saying it's not an agribusiness, or are them domestic animals they're holding there? That's also allowed in our ordinance. So for a special permit is all I'm asking for these types of facilities is if they have something grossly where the guy runs away, it should be in their process up front that they don't allow it, is all I'm asking for the ordinance to change. I don't think we can change this one. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking for the rest of the community to not have to deal with what we had to. So if you could have an ordinance changed, it sounds like it's not good, nothing's gonna happen until you guys give direction. And I hope it helps you guys. It's all I'm trying to do. Cause this can pop up anywhere. It looks like they're looking for 4-bedroom homes anywhere because they can hold 4 people for these types of facilities.
Thanks, Ken. Anybody else? Go ahead.
I was recently appointed to the planning commission. And I wasn't privy to a lot of these things that were going on. And so I always try not to make judgments or anything like that. You know, I said and I stated that I'm trying to try to be a fair person. But while I'm observing, I tell guys, there's a lot of disappointment from everybody. Fix the problem. You guys need to show a little bit of grace to each other and knock it off. If you think this is the worst thing in the world, let me tell you, there's a hell of a lot worse out there. And you're shortly going to see. Just stop the arguing the nonsense. People are fed up with it. They want to move on. Come on, grow up, guys. Show each other some grace. Aside from that, the only thing I can be judgmental on is I've seen you since I've been here. We've talked, we're neighbors. I don't know how long it's been now. 2 months?
We started in January.
January. You guys were talking earlier, and I don't know who's friends, who's not friends, but there's one thing that really stood out to me. You have got to get a second opinion. For the mere fact of putting people in that township at ease. You've got to have that. And I understand completely where they're coming from. Because if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, guess what? 9 out of 10 times, it's a duck. How long before I met you, when we were talking about this issue, had you been and bringing it up to the board?
When I first started, half of December on us, and we started trying to find a way to fix it.
To me, that's the most important thing right now, is getting that cleared up and get done. Because I'll tell you what, if something happens to a family person out there, you guys aren't going to be able to sleep at night. I dealt with kids for a long time as a principal. And I know one thing, there's a time to step in, there's a time and fight for him, for a kid, and there's a time for him to learn his lesson. Now, we need to fight this issue. But right now, that's the only thing I've heard that's of importance tonight. So other than that, all I gotta say is, I have good friends on both sides of the party. A doggone it, show each other some grace, learn to talk with each other, forget about it. I've known Emery, I've known Lotsky, was one of my teachers. I'm sure they haven't always gotten along with me. I'm sure that I've been pissed off to somebody before, pardon my French. But you know what? Have the grace to go up and say, you know, listen, I don't know what I am. I'm sorry, I'm being jackass. I'm sorry about that. Let's move on and see what can we do where we can communicate
on both sides and kind of, you know, and I'll be the first to tell you, my wife and I, she drives me crazy because of her antics when she talks. Okay, she doesn't realize, I mean, she's a nice person. I love her to death. She's a nice person. But I see us reacting emotionally to each other based on what our tone is looking like. Instead of showing each other some grace, say, listen, I'm not trying to offend you. You know, listen, let's just talk about it. Or show each other enough grace to where we don't have to come back to this and see this kind of stuff going on. Okay, see this stuff kind of going on where you take care of it before we get here. Thank you.
Thanks, Roger. Anybody else? Howard?
Or Sagash, 5599 Murphy Lake Road. I couldn't agree more with what he had to say, even though I don't even know his name. I sit here and watch you guys bicker and argue, and I can't help but notice that it all seems to stem from you. Like, you're the supervisor. Like, where I come from, there's a couple individuals that I've worked with in here that I learned a lot from about being a supervisor and being a leader. I sit here and watch these people try to get things done, and you seem to stonewall it. Just like, it's unbelievable how much you guys just go at each other. Instead of, like he said, have some grace. Like, understand that there's going to be mistakes that are made. Just like allowing the second public comment to be pretty much the same thing as the first one, even though just because you didn't see it in your pamphlet. Meanwhile, she's just trying to get a word in, and he sees it as snippy. Meanwhile, you don't even know what's going on in the background. There's a lot of stuff that everybody in here doesn't know. There's stuff that I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what the hell's going on. But I do know that you don't seem to be a very good supervisor. It seems to be kind of a joke at a circus at most days. Like, why is the treasurer situation such a big deal when she's right. You guys probably should have talked about that this morning. It would have been that easy. It seemed like it probably would have been a cooler, calmer situation to deal with, not in the middle of a meeting. Like, if you want to be the supervisor, supervise, lead, guide, lift up the rest of the team. Instead of trying to constantly beat everybody down and poke and prod, like with the zoning administrator. First, you don't want her involved, and then you turn around and you say, well, I wanted her, she should have been involved months ago. You pick a side and stick with it, or at least admit fault somewhere. You're not getting anywhere bouncing back and forth. You're not getting anywhere picking at each other and yelling at each other. Like, I don't understand how the things have gotten this bad. But I know that they're to the point where, I don't know if you realize that she isn't the clerk anymore. I've sat here and listened to you apologize to her for treating her like she's still the clerk. I know it's unsubmitted somewhere, but sooner or later, you're going to have to figure out where your place is. You got the title. You can start acting like it. Because if you don't turn it around pretty soon, you might end up having to fill her position. Because I get tired of having to talk her down when she comes home, all because of your conduct. Do you know where the job applications are? In the filing cabinets around here? Because you might want to start looking for them pretty soon. Because you're getting ready to push somebody out the door. Somebody that you guys all rely on. And I've got a pretty good feeling that I know who's going to be up the creek the most. Because you're the one leaning on her all the time.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, I'd say you're welcome, but you're not.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Action items. Lions Club, White Cane Drive, May 2nd.
Got
On another one.
in Michigan. Feed keepers.
This. Maybe I got the wrong one.
This, this,
Yeah,
it's there.
I forget that other one. But anyways, Mid-Michigan Beekeepers Association.
I make a motion to allow Mid-Michigan beekeepers to place beehives on the cemetery property and to maintain the area and also to have community meetings there monthly. Are they called community meetings or are they called?
The community hives that we would just maintain and.
Okay,
I'll support that. You've heard the motion been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passed.
Thank you.
Lions Club White Cane Drive, May 2nd, basically to use this back room. I'll make that motion to allow the Lions to use this back room for White Cane Drive on May 2nd.
Support.
You've heard the motion, been supported. Is there any comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passed. Spending policy. We wanna pass that tonight, or do we wanna think about it, or?
I move that we pass it tonight. It's fairly clear and thorough. And if we need to make adjustments later, we always can. So I move that we accept the spending policy that was presented tonight.
Support.
You've heard the motion, been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, Jack, we probably need a roll call because it deals with money.
Okay. Kenneth,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Jersey,
Yes.
Loomis,
Yes. Motion passed. The legacy assessing contract.
Make a motion that we accept the legacy assessing 2-year contract for years 27 and 28 as presented.
Support.
You've heard the motion, been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, we need a roll call, Jackie.
Cook,
Yes.
Kenneth,
Yes.
Jersey,
Yes.
Loomis,
Yes. Motion passed. MTA planning and zoning training. I assume this means is it the board members or just the planning and zoning board of appeals?
I'll make the motion that any planning commission, zoning board of appeals, or board member that wants to go to it can go to it.
Support.
In the ZA.
And the Z.
Yeah, zoning administrator.
Okay.
Support.
You've heard the motion, been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, Jack, we need a roll call, please.
Kenneth,
Yes.
Jersey,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Loomis,
Yes. Motion passed. Direct deposit for Millington Township payroll.
Is that what we want to do? Make it monthly and do direct deposit?
Well, that's the direction I was given, but
I make a motion that we adopt the direct deposit policy as presented. And also we need to read a resolution to
You wanna make
enact
two
it.
motions or all in one?
I'll do it in one. I move that we place the direct deposit policy as presented.
Support.
you've heard the motion, been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
I
Those opposed, motion passed.
make a motion to do the resolution to establish direct deposit payroll policy, Millington Township, Tuscola County, Michigan. Resolution, and it will to be numbered. A resolution to establish a direct deposit payroll policy, whereas Millington Township is responsible for the timely and accurate payment of wages to its employees. And whereas electronic direct deposit enhances efficiency, reduces administrative costs, and improves payroll security. And whereas the Township Board desires to adopt a formal policy governing the U.S. use of direct deposit for payroll purposes in compliance with Michigan law, including the Michigan Payment of Wages and Fringe Benefits Act. Now therefore be it resolved that the Millington Township Board hereby adopts the direct deposit policy, payroll policy attached hereto and incorporated by reference. The township clerk is authorized and directed to implement and administer the policy, including the development of necessary forms and procedures. The township treasurer and clerk are authorized to take all actions necessary to facilitate electronic payroll processing and participation in direct deposit shall be voluntary unless otherwise permitted by law. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon adoption.
Or was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Support. Okay, you've heard the resolution, been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, Jackie, we probably should do A's and A's, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Cook,
Yes.
Kenneth,
Yes,
Drzel,
Yes,
Loomis.
Yes, motion passed, or resolution passed. Okay. Park appointments. I make a motion that we reappoint Kirk Cobb and Bob O'Neill. And also Chelsea Elbord onto the park board for 3 years.
Or
You've heard the motion, been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Those opposed, motion passed. Tahoe repair quotes.
I'll make the motion that we go with Narsted's to repair the Tahoe.
support.
You've heard the motion, been supported. Is there any discussion? Now, Jack, we need a roll call, please.
Okay, just 1 second. Kenneth,
yes,
Cook,
Yes.
Drzel,
Yes,
Loomis.
Yes, motion passed. Log for land splits and combinations, lot line adjustments.
would you reconsider to do that?
I don't think it's necessary personally, but
if the board passes motion that it should be done, would you do that?
no.
Here we go again. We're trying to make it easier for everybody in the future. Can you please consider
I'll
working with us?
I'll consider it. How's that?
And at next meeting, we'll discuss it
We'll
again.
discuss it.
That'll be on the agenda for next meeting
Yeah.
then.
So this is tabled.
Tabled. Okay, I move that we table this until next meeting to give the supervisor more time to consider.
Support.
There's been a motion, or you've heard the motion, been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Those opposed, motion passed. Proposed amendments. You say there's only two, Gerald?
Well, I make a
B
motion
and C?
that that
Oh,
we repeal ordinance 18-02. That's it.
oh, that's it. You're not gonna do the other?
The other two will be going to the planning commission.
We gotta make a motion to send it to them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
support,
wanted the first one.
I support.
okay. You've heard the motion, been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Those opposed, motion passed.
I make a motion that we send ordinance amendments for section 5.03 and section 14.06 to the planning commission for their review and
and possibly,
whatever they do.
Public
and
hearing.
schedule a public hearing,
Public hearing for it.
support.
Okay, you've heard the motion, been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Those opposed, motion passed. Enforcement authorization case number 2024 and 039.
I move that the Millington Township Board authorize the zoning administrator to proceed with the municipal civil infraction enforcement for case number 2024-039 and involving violations of section 3.02 zoning permits and section 14.15 recreational vehicles of Millington Township. Zoning ordinance for property located on Birch Run Road, parcel ID 017-019-000-2612, including issuance of municipal civil infraction notice of violation and, if necessary, a civil infraction citation in accordance with township policy.
Or
You've heard the motion, been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Those opposed, motion passed. Number 12, authorization to issue warning notice.
okay, this is the Murphy Lake Road one with trailers.
Yeah, the trailers.
We have not had a
Formal complaint.
formal complaint.
Actually, the enforcement one, I don't think we did either, did we? On record?
That is
Okay,
totally different, because that's involved with, he was coming for zoning permits, building permits, that was an open
that
case.
was open case, okay,
At that point,
Just ask.
he didn't do what he was supposed to do.
But if this person doesn't know he's in violation, how is he ever going to fix it? So we could send, what she's asking for is just to send a warning letter.
Warning notice, yeah.
But you're starting the process. And if you start the process, you have to complete the process. And you can't just, it would be nice if you could just go and talk to the person, and I don't know if that would be acceptable. If she could go and talk to the person, say, hey, can you do something about this without a formal complaint? But we have made the motion, that we do not enforce without a complaint. So I
That's a
don't
policy.
know that we should do that. I would love to be able to say, hey, go talk to him. I don't know. But,
I think we don't do anything with it.
yeah. I don't think we can.
Yeah, we really don't have a complaint filed. Okay, number 13, CMH residential use. I really think it's a conflict of interest, and I think we need a second opinion from Laura's lawyers. But that's only my opinion.
I disagree that it's a conflict of interest because I believe lawyers have to work legitimately as lawyers. I am in agreement that a second opinion could be done, and also send the information that we received from Mr. Weber to the lawyer that made these opinions and get his opinion regarding that as well. So if we get a second opinion with all the information and also with our attorney, we have two opinions to consider.
With the same information for each lawyer,
Yes.
yes.
Compare apples to apples.
Who's sending the information to the new lawyer?
That would. Who would you like to send the information to the new lawyer,
What time
Mr.?
Laura down was it? Was it her lawyer?
She's not here, so yeah.
Yeah, I think Laura would be willing to do that.
Okay, I make a motion that we send all information that we have received, that Laura sends all the new information that we have received to the lawyer that she's used. I don't know her name.
And
Bach or something like that, Bachman or.
Michael Bila.
Michael Beeline.
Oh, that's his name.
And what was the second half?
and also to the new information to Stoller.
And all new information to
Present.
our present lawyer.
Support.
You've heard the motion, has been supported. Is there any further discussion? If not, Jack, we need a roll call, please.
Kynet,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Jerselle,
Yes.
Loomis.
Yes, motion passed. Planning Commission appointment, as soon as I find out on the complaint whether I did it right or not, I will appoint another planning commission member.
That one, I would like that done sooner, but
Okay. Number 15, job description for deputy supervisor, deputy treasurer, and deputy clerk.
I think we just need to review those. For the deputy treasurer and deputy clerk, since they've been firmly established for so long. We really should do number 16 first, do the resolution for the deputy supervisor and then the job description. Because we need to formalize and get board approved scopes of service. State statute says we shouldn't have any vague authorities, so I move that we adopt the formal resolution, Millington Township Board Resolution number, whatever it'll be. Resolution establishing the position of Deputy Township Supervisor. Whereas the Township Supervisor is the Chief Administrator Officer of the Township and is responsible for statutory duties, including assessing, budgeting, oversight of township operations, and execution of township documents pursuant to Michigan Case Law 41.61, and whereas Michigan Case Law 41.61(2) authorizes the Township Supervisor to appoint a deputy who shall serve at the pleasure of the supervisor and who, during the supervisor's absence, sickness, death, or other disability shall possess the powers and perform the duties of the supervisor, except that the deputy shall not have a vote on the township board. And whereas the township board recognizes the need to ensure continuity of government operations, administrative support, and effective service to township residents. And whereas the township board desires to formally recognize and authorize position of deputy township supervisor and establish the scope of duties, authority, and limitations of the position. Now therefore be it resolved that the township board hereby establishes the position of deputy township supervisor under the following terms. Creation of the position. The position of deputy township supervisor is hereby created pursuant to Michigan Case Law 41.61-2. Appointment. The deputy supervisor shall be appointed by the township supervisor and shall serve at the pleasure of the supervisor. Oath of office. Before assuming duties, the deputy shall take and file the constitutional oath of office with the township clerk. Authority when acting as supervisor. During the supervisor's absence, sickness, death, or other disability, the deputy shall possess the powers and perform the statutory duties of the supervisor as provided in Michigan Case Law 41.61-2, except that the deputy shall not have a vote on the township board. Delegated authority. The supervisor is not absent or when the supervisor is not absent or incapacitated, the deputy may perform administrative or operational duties only as expressly delegated by the supervisor up to, we need to determine how many hours per week. Do we have a number in mind? How much you might need them, Bob?
No, I'm just going by what the. Whenever I need him, that's when I'm not in the office, he's.
Should we start with?
I don't think there's any hours. I mean, there are no hours on none of the other deputies.
Yeah, but this is if you're absent or if you need help with something special. So we put, I was thinking 12 hours per week and we can adjust that if it
Yeah.
turns out.
12 sounds good.
So 12 hours per week. Additional hours for the deputy shall be requested by the supervisor and approved by the township board in advance of those hours being worked. The deputy shall not independently bind the township, authorize expenditures, or exercise statutory duty authority unless delegated in writing. Compensation for the deputy township supervisor shall be established by the board. Removal. The deputy township supervisor may be removed at any time by the township supervisor, consistent with Michigan Case Law 41.61-2. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately upon adoption.
Support.
You've heard the resolution, been supported. Is there any discussion? We need a roll call. Yeah, let's do a roll call.
Cook,
Yes.
China,
Yes.
Renzo,
Yes,
Loomis,
No. Motion passed.
Seventeen.
Yeah.
we've got,
is it right there?
Again,
Is it up there? That's the super, super, if you. I,
Isn't it this?
yeah, that's. Sorry about that.
who's the job description paper? Should we do the job description while we're here? For
Sure.
the deputy supervisor?
Sure.
Yeah.
This is the one that have the check boxes for the board to go through. Delegation of authority form, Township of Millington. Deputy Township Supervisor. Purpose of delegation. This form documents the specific administrative or operational duties that the Township Supervisor delegates to the Deputy Township Supervisor pursuant to Michigan Case Law 41.61-2. This delegation does not grant independent statutory authority and may be modified or revoked at any time by the supervisor. Appointee information. The name of the deputy township supervisor is Robert Worth. Do you remember what day you appointed him, Robert?
Not right offhand, a couple months ago.
Okay, we'll have to fill that in. It's been 2 or 3 months.
Sure, exact date.
And I know he took the oath with the clerk,
Yep.
so we'll need that date also. Delegated duties. The township supervisor hereby delegates the following duties to the township supervisor. Respond to resident inquiries and communications. Do you want him to do that for you?
Sure.
Assist with preparation of reports, agendas, or meeting materials.
Well, if it's statutory duties, yeah.
Coordinate township projects or programs.
No, we need that.
I don't either.
No, I don't.
Okay, we can skip that one.
Yeah,
Represent the township at meetings or events when assigned.
I don't think you can do that.
I don't either, but that was on the list.
No, you can't do that.
Assist with the budget preparation or financial review.
Yeah, you can do that.
Oversee office operations or workflow as directed.
So who directs them? Me?
You,
How can you direct him when he's,
well, you'd have to tell him before he goes, I guess.
So basically, even if I'm here, I can direct them to do that?
it's supposed to be when you're sick, gone.
So
Oh,
basically, it's statutory duties.
yes, but
And
this
that's
lays it out,
exactly what's in MCL 41.
correct, but
It's the
this
same
makes it,
thing.
this makes it real clear, so everybody's, we've got the 2 documents that match.
So we have resolutions on file and job descriptions. That's what's needed. And recommended by the township MTA.
For document and communication authority, do you want him to sign it routine administrative correspondence? I think it'd probably be better if you handle all that, Robert, for
Well, if I'm here, yeah,
continuity.
but if I'm not here, then what?
This is routine.
Yeah.
You don't want routine.
No.
Issue notices or communications on behalf of the supervisor.
I don't know where all this stuff came from.
You want that or not?
Sure. But basically, this is if I'm not here, he can do all this. Other than chair a meeting. And he can't vote.
Well, and like the extra hours and stuff that might be needed have to be approved by the board,
The extra 12 hours.
over and above 12 hours.
But when I,
Coordinate with contractors, consultants, or partner agencies.
And
I don't think
that
that,
can be done by the rest of the board.
the,
If he's not here.
monitor progress of township initiatives.
so what's that mean?
Well, when we've got projects going on, he would be the one to monitor them. I think that's your job.
What do you mean by monitoring?
Follow the progress, see how they're progressing. Are they getting the job done or are they not?
You mean as far as
Meeting
contractors
deadlines.
or what?
Yeah.
Yes. Assist with grant administration or compliance.
No, that's more the treasurer's duties.
Limits of delegated authority. This delegation does not authorize the township supervisor to exercise statutory duties, statutory powers of the township supervisor, except during the supervisor's absence, sickness, death, or disability, as defined by Michigan Case Law 41.61-2. Vote on the township board. Sign contracts, ordinances, resolutions, or binding agreements. Authorize expenditures or financial commitments. Make hiring, firing, or disciplinary decisions unless expressly stated. Act beyond the scope of duties listed above. Duration of delegation, ongoing until revoked or temporary.
Yeah, I think
You want ongoing?
that's the way it's set up to. Personnel.
By signing below, the Township Supervisor affirms this delegation is made in accordance with Michigan Case Law 41.61-2 and Township Policy. The Deputy Township Supervisor acknowledges receipt of this declaration and agrees to perform the duties within the limits described. And there's a place for you and him both to sign.
Okay,
Can we?
are we gonna vote on this?
I support it.
Go ahead.
Go
I
ahead.
was just, should we eliminate all the stuff that isn't necessary on there?
There's a lot that doesn't.
Just
doesn't
check the
pertain.
ones that do and the ones that are blank
Okay.
aren't.
Fine.
Yeah.
So there's been a motion, been seconded?
Yeah.
There's been a motion, been seconded, is there any discussion? If not, Jack, can you a roll call, please?
Jarzo,
Yes.
Kenneth,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Loomis.
No. Motion passed.
The other two, we're going to review and
Lucy, yes to that.
Yeah, we don't need to support, do those because this is
They were already-
informational,
okay,
because they're already in place. They've already been doing the duties for,
copy that.
and they've had them for years and years.
Okay, supervisor's report,
Nope,
Wait a minute.
Number 17.
17.
Roads.
Never got this stuff.
I'm putting my stuff on. Oh.
17, brush on the roads.
Brush,
right?
brush spray, I'm sorry. Okay, the brush spraying, once a year, $15,000, all the secondary roads. What's everybody think about it, yes or no, or wanna wait till next month? Like I say, I didn't get it till today, I don't know, was it 9, 10 o'clock?
Do people get to opt out of this in front of their house or anything if they want?
Yes. Yes, they can, like a no spray zone.
Mhm.
Remember we did it, we was gonna do it last year, then they lost their contractor,
So it didn't get done last year?
but they didn't get
No.
done at all.
No.
Does that help with the road noise?
It basically just keeps a brush back from the edge of the road.
I'm just asking, does that help with the?
Well, I would think so.
How far do they go?
It's supposed to make it so they don't have.
I'm thinking it's,
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's 15 foot if I'm not mistaken.
We have trouble getting out of our driveway because all of, you can see, that's in the neighbor there.
Hmm.
And it's hard to touch with a ditch. but-
You have a contract?
Yep, right here.
Bob, what's secondary road?
Somebody just asked a question.
That's not me.
Dwight,
I believe that's just woody spray brush killer. It's not grass killer.
I think it's just like a brush killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them along Murphy Lake, that's not secondary. easy. Murphy Lake, a ton of tree growing that along the road in the ditch. It's not good for. That, I don't think they'll do that.
What do they define secondary road as? Murphy Lake.
Anything but primary,
Okay.
anything but Millington and Bertrand and Sheridan.
Do you need a
Be nice.
motion on that?
Mhm.
I may,
And signatures if we.
I make a motion that we accept the roadside spraying at the amount of
$15,000.
$15,000 as presented by the Tuscola County Road Commission.
I'll support that. You've heard the motion been supported. Is there any discussion? If not, Jack, you need a roll call?
Kenneth,
Yes.
Cook,
No,
Jarzo,
Yes.
Loomis.
Yes, motion passed. So the next thing is the supervisor's report. Been cleaning up a lot of combinations and land splits. Been working tremendously on the budget. It seemed like, I don't know, we had 4 or 5 meetings. And whatever else comes along.
And
Are you ready for my report or are you?
we will be having the meeting on Wednesday, the 20th. Will you be there too?
20th or 22nd?
22nd, I'm sorry, 22nd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Planning commission?
Yeah, go ahead.
We are sending several ordinances that we approved to Wade Trim, so you can put in the next copy of the ordinance. And we're bringing back up 1411 storage containers. It keeps getting slipped through and we're gonna try to finish it. And we did a lot of discussion on CMH. And at this end of the table, Jackie, you're appreciated. Don't be going anywhere.
Thanks.
As far as the park, we're working on putting in 2 pickleball courts. The park gate was open last week. I think there's 1 bathroom open. And so just basically clean up right now.
The rail trail, Southern Links Rail Trail, they had the prisoner work program. They came out once already this year and they've been a big help. We're continuing to work on the small bridge. We've got to find a way around that. They're working on a option for that. And their spring cleanup date will be April 25th with the alternate date of May 16th, if anybody wants to help. They start in Columbiaville and Otter Lake and work that way. We have the Tuscola County prisoners, so we don't get that kind of help. But we do have people that are cleaning the whole thing. So
What were the dates?
April 25th with the alternate date, if it rains, will be May 16th, and they serve hot dogs.
And for the fire board, we've had, the fire department has had more than normal structure fires. I think they've had 5 this year already. And keeping very busy. Other than that, and they did had two members are no longer firefighters, but they are in the process of training 2 members, so. And also, if anyone would like to know the process for township tax collection and disbursement, I do have copies here. And you're welcome to look at them if you'd like, keep them.
I guess I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
There's been a motion to adjourn, it's been seconded, is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion passed. I need a couple of signatures here.
Oh, so he had to tell you for what
We
tried to do. And now. It's not like you said to. You'll.
Some of them are here, Mike.
Both of them, Robert?
Yes, please.
Oh, yes, he did. He'll do this.
They need a couple of signatures, brush spray.
Right. Yeah. Good.